Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Thompson. I'm 28 and I've been grinding away at Thompson Industries since I could spell spreadsheet. It's a tech company my dad, Richard Thompson, built from scratch. And no, being the boss's daughter isn't exactly smooth sailing, but I've earned my way. Just got promoted to chief financial officer, and it feels dang good. I'm also engaged to an incredible guy, Mark. He's an investment banker. Brilliant, patient, and thankfully not bothered by my workaholic tendencies. We make it work. Now, about my sister Emily. She's 25, works in marketing, and, well, it's complicated. She's always been the free spirit, while I was the one nose deep in accounting books. Dad's expectations are sky high for both of us, but Emily struggles with that pressure. Sarah, can you check this proposal for me? Emily asked, barging into my office one day. I glanced at my jam-packed schedule. Sure, Em, give me an hour. She rolled her eyes. Never mind, I'll figure it out. Come on, don't be like that. I'm just swamped. You're always swamped, golden child, and all that. I winced. That's not fair, Emily. I'm trying to help. Help? Like getting me this job. I didn't need your charity, Sarah. It wasn't charity. I thought you wanted to work here. She stormed out, leaving me feeling awful. Every time I try to mentor her, she acts like I'm flaunting my success. Then there's Jake, Emily's boyfriend. He's in accounting entry level. Nice enough guy, but something always felt off. Like the way he looks at me, as if I'm competition. One day, I was heading to the break room for coffee when I overheard them talking in hushed tones. Are you sure this will work? Emily whispered. Jake's voice was intense. Trust me, with my access and your inside info, it's foolproof. Sarah won't know what hit her. I froze. What the hell? But framing her for embezzlement? Isn't that going too far? My blood ran cold. Embezzlement. Frame me? You want to be daddy's favorite or not? Jake scoffed. Once Sarah's out of the picture, you'll finally get the recognition you deserve. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own sister plotting to destroy everything I've worked for. I wanted to confront them right then and there, but something held me back. I needed to plan. I went back to my office, locked the door, and sank into my chair. My perfect life now felt like it was built on quicksand. Over the next few days, I kept a close eye on Emily and Jake. I started noticing things, like the way they were always huddled over a computer, or how they were suddenly best buddies with it, constantly asking for help. Sarah, got a sec. Olivia, my best friend and head of HR, poked her head into my office. Yeah, come in. Close the door. She sat down, concern etched on her face. What's going on? You've been acting weird. I took a deep breath. Liv, I need to tell you something, but it stays between us. I told her everything, what I overheard, my suspicions. Her eyes widened. Holy Sarah, are you sure? I wish I wasn't. But I need your help. Can you keep an eye on their system access quietly? Olivia nodded. Consider it done. We'll catch these snakes. Weeks passed, and things got more suspicious. Emily and Jake would freeze up when I walked by, and I caught them repeatedly checking their accounts. Sarah, these numbers in the Key 3 report don't add up, Dad said during our weekly meeting. I struggled to keep my voice steady. I noticed that too. I'm looking into it. His eyes narrowed. See that you do. We can't afford mistakes like this. Late nights became my new normal as I dug deeper into the financials. The more I looked, the worse it got. A web of false transactions all pointing to me. Real clever, I muttered at 2 a.m. staring at the evidence. Then came the family dinner. Dad insisted we talk about the company's future. Emily, of course, volunteered to host. The tension was suffocating. So Sarah, Emily said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. How's the financial department? Any issues? I nearly choked on my wine. Everything's fine. Why do you ask? She shrugged, feigning innocence. Oh, no reason. Just heard some rumors about discrepancies in the books. Pretty big ones. Dad's head snapped up. What discrepancies? I'm sure it's nothing, Emily continued. Right, Sarah? All eyes turned to me. My mind raced. I couldn't reveal everything yet, but I couldn't lie either. We've had some irregularities, I admitted, but I'm handling it. Dad frowned. Why am I just hearing about this? I wanted to have all the facts before bringing it to you. I replied quickly, trying to stay composed. I didn't want to cause unnecessary panic. Panic? My mom asked, her voice laced with concern. Sarah, what's really going on? I could feel Emily's smug gaze burning into me. She thought she had me cornered, but little did she know I was already 3 steps ahead. Look, I said, setting my fork down. There have been some issues with the financial reports. I've been working overtime to trace the source. It's complicated. Complicated, Dad echoed. Sarah, you're the CFO. Making things uncomplicated is your job. I know, Dad, and I promise you, I'll get to the bottom of this. Every penny will be accounted for. The rest of the dinner passed in a blur of tense small talk and sharp glances. As we were leaving, Emily grabbed my arm. Everything okay, sis? You seemed a little flustered in there. I met her eyes, my voice low and steady. I'm fine, Emily, and I think you know exactly why. The next morning, I marched into Olivia's office, fueled by determination. Slamming the door shut, I declared, "We're taking these bastards down." Olivia glanced up with a knowing smile. I was hoping you'd say that. What's the plan, boss? We spent hours plotting. It was risky, but it was the best way to expose Emily and Jake without bringing down the company. A fake acquisition. Olivia raised an eyebrow. That's bold, even for you. I grinned. Go big or go home, right? We leak info about Thompson Industries acquiring a hot new startup. Emily and Jake won't be able to resist using it for their scheme. Emily, of course, grew curious. She started probing me for details, cornering me at every opportunity. So this acquisition, she said casually one afternoon, must be a big deal, huh? A lot of money involved. I feigned indifference. You know I can't discuss the details, Em. She nodded, a little too understanding. Of course. Just curious. As soon as she left, I texted Olivia. They took the bait. Time for phase 2. Finally, the day arrived. I called an emergency board meeting. My heart raced as the executive team filed in. Dad looked concerned. Emily was smug, and Jake, nervous. Thank you all for coming, I began, my voice steady. I've called this meeting to address the financial discrepancies affecting the company. I pulled up the first slide of my presentation. What you're about to see is the result of weeks of investigation. It reveals a systematic attempt to embezzle funds and frame me for the crime. Gasps filled the room. Emily's smirk vanished. Sarah, what is this? Dad demanded. The truth, Dad, just watch. Slide after slide, I laid out the evidence. Doctored reports, falsified transactions, all leading back to 2 people, Emily and Jake. This is ridiculous, Emily sputtered. You're making this up. I turned to her, my voice icy. Am I, Emily? Then how do you explain this? I played the recording of her and Jake discussing their plan in detail. Her face drained of color. Where did you get that? She whispered. You're not as clever as you think, sis. Did you really believe I wouldn't fight back? Jake shot to his feet. This is all a misunderstanding. Emily, tell them. But Emily was crumbling. Tears streamed down her face as she looked at our father. Daddy, I just wanted you to be proud of me, like you are of Sarah. Dad looked shell-shocked. Emily, how could you? It was all her idea. Jake blurted out. She came to me, said we could both benefit if we took Sarah down. I just went along with it. Emily's head snapped up. You lying bastard, it was your plan. As they turned on each other, I felt a strange mix of satisfaction and sorrow. I'd won, but at what cost? That's enough, I said firmly. Security will escort you both out. The authorities have already been notified. As they were led away, Emily shot me a venomous glare. I hate you, she spat. I met her gaze steadily. I know, but I'm not the one you should be angry with. You did this to yourself. The room fell silent as the door closed behind them. I turned to face the stunned executives and my shaken father. I know this is a lot to process, I said, but I promise you, Thompson Industries will recover from this. We're stronger than the actions of 2 misguided individuals. As the meeting adjourned, Dad approached me, his eyes brimming with unshed tears. Sarah, I don't know what to say. I straightened my shoulders. You don't have to say anything, Dad. Just trust that I've got this under control. It's what you trained me for after all. He nodded and walked away, leaving me alone with the weight of everything that had just unfolded. I allowed myself a moment to breathe. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. We have to fire them immediately, I said, pacing Dad's office. He nodded, his voice heavy. I know, but Sarah, she's still your sister. No, Dad, I said firmly. She stopped being my sister the moment she tried to destroy everything we've built. The next morning, Emily and Jake were escorted out, their belongings packed in boxes. As Emily passed my office, our eyes met for a brief moment. I saw a flicker of the little sister I used to know, but I steeled myself. This wasn't the time for weakness. We're pressing charges, I told our legal team, full extent of the law. No deals. The lawyer raised an eyebrow. Even for your sister. Especially for my sister. Sarah, you need to rest, Mark said one night, finding me hunched over my laptop at 3 a.m. I shook my head. I can't. There's too much at stake. He sat beside me, taking my hand. I know, but you're not alone in this. Let me help. His support meant everything. While my family was falling apart, Mark remained my rock. Then, one rainy afternoon, there was a knock at my office door. It was Emily. Sarah, please, can we talk? She asked, her voice shaky. I stared at her, the stranger wearing my sister's face. There's nothing to say. I'm sorry, she blurted out. I was jealous and stupid, and save it for the judge, Emily. We're done here. As security led her away, I felt a pang in my chest, but I squashed it down. She'd made her choice. The trial was a media circus. Jake, facing additional charges, crumbled fast. He took a plea deal, throwing Emily under the bus in the process. Miss Thompson, the prosecutor asked me on the stand, did you have any indication of your sister's intentions? I looked straight at Emily. No, I trusted her completely. That was my mistake. I'm proud of you, kiddo, Dad said, hugging me tightly after the verdict. You saved this company. You saved our family. I hugged him back, feeling the weight of the past year begin to lift. Months later, I stood in front of a mirror, adjusting my wedding veil. Mark and I had decided life was too short to wait. You ready? Olivia asked, grinning. I took a deep breath. More than ever. As I walked down the aisle, I saw my future stretching out before me, Mark, beaming, Dad crying, though he'd deny it later. Our friends and colleagues all gathered to celebrate. At the reception, Dad clinked his glass for a toast. To Sarah and Mark, he began, his voice full of emotion. And to the bright future of Thompson Industries under Sarah's leadership. As the room erupted in applause, I felt a sense of closure, but a question still lingered in my mind. Now I turn that question to you. If you were in my shoes, could you ever forgive Emily for her betrayal, or would you cut ties completely, as I did? There's no easy answer, so I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.